how small habits reduce anxiety doesn't always come in storms. Sometimes it arrives as a whisperer, racing heart when you check your phone, a tight chest when you open your laptop, or a restless mind when the world is quiet at night. It doesn't announce itself with fury, but instead weaves itself slowly into your routines, thoughts, and nervous systems, since till one day you'll realize you're always on edge. In a world where everyone is overwhelmed, the answer we're often given is slow down or calm down. But how? When your mind feels like a battlefield and even basic decisions feel paralyzing, how do you find peace? That's where the genius of small habits steps in. Rather than telling you to overhaul your life, James Clear, in Atomic Habits, teaches us that transformation comes through tiny wins. These small wins can feel like a single matchstick of light in a dark room, and over time, those matchsticks build a fiery sense of calm, clarity, and control. This is the story of how small, consistent habits can quiet anxiety, retrain your brain, and help you take back control one simple step at a time. The cycle of anxiety and inaction anxiety often thrives in a vicious loop. You feel overwhelmed, so you avoid the task. The avoidance provides short-term relief, but it makes the task grow. Soon, you're not only anxious about the task itself, but about your avoidance of the task. This cycle feeds on itself, and over time, it creates chronic anxiety, guilt, shame, and low self-worth. Small habits interrupt this cycle. They inject control into chaos. They give you momentum where anxiety wants paralysis. You don't need to tackle the entire mountain. You just need to take the next small step. Anxiety versus habits. The battle of the mindlet. Break it down. Anxiety is a mental pattern built on fear, uncertainty, and overstimulation. Habits are systems' automatic patterns of behavior based on repetition, stability, and identity. Anxiety wants you to overthink. Habits want you to do. Anxiety lives in the future. What if this happens? Habits live in the present. What can I do now? This is why habits are such powerful tools for healing. Anxiety. They shift your brain's focus from spiraling thought to grounding action. They don't try to silence your mind, they give it a rhythm. Habit 1. The power of micro-action chain. You're anxious. Everything feels too big. Too many emails, too many tasks, too many decisions. But the smallest action can flip the switch. James Clear writes, "You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems." Start small. If you can't answer all your emails, just open your inbox. If you can't go to the gym, just put on your shoes. If you can't write an article, just open the document. These small actions might seem insignificant, but psychologically, they are activations. They create momentum. They break inertia. They tell your brain, we are in motion now. Motion reduces anxiety. Action reduces anxiety. Progress, however small, is powerful. Habit 2. Create a morning anchor. One of the biggest causes of anxiety is starting the day in chaos. You grab your phone, read the news, check messages, and before you even stand up you're overwhelmed. Creating a morning anchor is one of the most calming habits you can build. It could be as simple as making your bed, drinking a glass of water for 2 minutes, stretching for 30 seconds, lighting a candle. These actions signal to your brain, today, I am grounded, I have control. I begin on my terms. It doesn't need to be long. It just needs to be consistent. Habit 3. Mental hygiene with habit stacking. Just like you brush your teeth, your mind needs daily cleansing. You can do this by stacking habits that clear mental clutter. For example, after I brush my teeth, I write one worry in my journal. After I pour my coffee, I take 3 deep breaths. After I sit at my desk, I close my eyes for 10 seconds and visualize. Calm, these habits act like shields against anxiety triggers. You don't wait until you're overwhelmed. You prepare for it. That's the power of habit stacking. It attaches new, anxiety-reducing behaviors to old, automatic ones. Over time, it rewires your routines and reshapes your emotional state. Habit 4. Environment. Design for a calm mind. James Clear teaches that environment is stronger than willpower. And when it comes to anxiety, your surroundings matter more than you think. Does your workspace clutter your thoughts? Does your bedroom keep your mind awake? Design your environment to soothe your system. Declutter your desk. Remove toxic apps from your home screen. Add soft lighting in the evening. Place a gratitude journal beside your bed. When your physical space is calm, your mental space follows. Design isn't just aesthetics. Emotional regulation. Habit 5. Breathing rituals and movement loops. Your body is your nervous system's main language. Habits that focus on breath and movement are especially effective for anxiety. Start with just 1 minute a day for 7-8 breathing. Inhale 4, hold 7. Exhale 8. A 60-second walk outside. Slow stretches build a movement loop into your daily routine. It might look like, after lunch, walk for 5 minutes. After finishing a Zoom call, stretch your neck. Before dinner, do 10 jumping jacks. Each small physical act becomes a valve for anxiety to escape. The habit of mindful awareness. Anxiety thrives in mindlessness when you're reacting to everything. Habits of mindfulness break that automatic reaction. Even a 1-minute mindfulness check-in can change your emotional trajectory. Start with this habit. Each time I sit down to work, I ask, what am I feeling right now? No judgment, just noticing. Over time, this builds emotional intelligence. And with emotional intelligence comes regulation. You don't need to meditate for 30 minutes. You just need to pay attention on purpose. For 30 seconds, build a habit of journaling the truth. Anxiety tells lies. Habits tell truth. Anxiety says, you'll fail. Your journal says, I showed up today. Build the habit of daily Just answer 3 questions each day. What went well today? What am I proud of? What can I let go of? Do it for 5 minutes, not more. This habit rewires your brain to seek progress, not perfection. It gives you proof that you're doing better than your anxiety wants you to believe. Habit of reducing inputs. Too much stimulation creates mental noise. News, emails, social media, opinions, it all becomes anxiety fuel. Start the habit of input limits. No phone, 30 minutes after waking. 1 hour of screen-free time before bed, and follow 10 unhelpful accounts each week. Read 1 page instead of scrolling. Make these into daily or weekly habits. You don't have to unplug your whole life. Just lower the volume of the chaos. Identity shift from anxious to empowered. James Clear emphasizes the habits are not about doing, they're about becoming. Every time you keep a small habit, you prove something. I can take care of myself. I am not at the mercy of anxiety. I am building resilience. I am becoming peaceful, 1 act at a time. These micro habits create micro identity shifts. An identity is the deepest level of habit formation. Eventually, you stop saying, I have anxiety, and start saying, I'm someone who manages my anxiety with strength and consistency. The plateau of emotional growth, just like physical goals. Emotional goals have a plateau. You may do everything right for weeks and still feel anxious. That doesn't mean the habits aren't working. It means the change is happening below the surface. Habits work like water freezing into ice. Nothing happens at 31 degrees Fahrenheit. Everything changes at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. So keep going. Make it satisfying. Celebrate calm every time you keep your habit. Celebrate, say out loud, I did something for my peace. Today, track your habits. Use visual cues. Draw stars on your calendar. These small celebrations release dopamine reward signals. They tell your brain, let's do that again, habit by habit, breath by breath. You don't need to become a new person overnight. You just need to become a little calmer, a little more intentional, a little more grounded today, and then do it again tomorrow. Your anxiety may not disappear, but your relationship to it can change. You become someone who is bigger than their anxiety. That's the power of small habits. Ending words in the end. The most healing message of Atomic Habits is this: every action you take is a vote for the person you want to become. If you want to become calm, grounded, and strong, you don't need to shout it. Just vote for it. One tiny habit at a time. Anxiety wants speed. Healing happens in slow motion. So take the first step, then take it again and again, because peace isn't built in a day, it's built in daily acts of intention. The science behind why small habits calm the mind lets go deeper. Anxiety is largely rooted in uncertainty and perceived danger. Our brains are wired for survival, and when we sense threat, real or imagined, our amygdala fires up. This activates the fight or flight response. But here's what research shows. Consistent, predictable routines tell the brain that things are safe, that there's order, that you are in control. Small habits, when repeated daily, act as neural safety signals. They provide structure. They ground you. They remind your subconscious, I know what's coming. I've done this before. I can handle this. In fact, studies show that rituals, however small, lower cortisol, reduce physiological symptoms of stress, and increase a sense of calm. Whether it's making your morning tea the same way every day, or always starting work by writing a to-do list, these simple acts can train your nervous system to expect peace. Keystone habits. The anxiety antidotes. James Clear speaks about keystone habits, those single habits that trigger a ripple effect across multiple areas of your life. For anxiety, here are some powerful keystone habits. Sleep hygiene. Going to bed and waking up at the same time builds stability in your circadian rhythm, reducing stress hormone spikes. Movement. A 10-minute daily walk lowers anxiety levels, increases serotonin, and boosts resilience. Journaling. Processing thoughts before bed can reduce racing thoughts, especially for high-functioning anxiety. 1 item per day. Less visual chaos equals less mental chaos. Daily digital sunset. Turning off devices 60 minutes before bed can calm the brain's overstimulation. These habits don't just help with anxiety, they make your whole system healthier, which in turn lowers anxiety. Start with just one. Let it grow. The 2-minute rule for overwhelmed minds. Anxiety often makes even the smallest tasks feel impossible. That's why the 2-minute rule is so powerful. It says, any habit should take less than 2 minutes to start. You don't need to write a full page, just write a sentence. You don't need to work out for 30 minutes, just stretch for 2. You don't need to meditate for 20 minutes, just sit and breathe for 2. Why does this help? Because anxiety thrives on procrastination, and procrastination thrives on task. Inflation when your mind magnifies the effort, but when you reduce a task to 2 minutes, you deactivate the anxiety. You flip the switch from avoidance to engagement, and more often than not, you'll keep going. That's the beauty. Starting is winning. Habit tracking. Visualizing peace there. A reason habit trackers are effective. When you see a visual record of your calm habits, check marks on a calendar, streaks on an app, tally marks in a notebook, it creates a sense of progress. Progress fights anxiety. It tells your brain, I'm not stuck. I'm moving forward. Habit tracking gives shape to your inner growth, and that shape becomes momentum. You don't need a fancy app. A wall calendar and a pen will do. Each day you meditate, journal, walk, or breathe, mark it. Soon, your wall becomes a visual symbol of your healing. Your mind sees proof that things are changing, and that feeling of progress. It soothes even the most anxious heart, avoiding the all or nothing trap. One of anxiety's cruel tricks is perfectionism. If I can't do it perfectly, I might as well not do it at all. This black and white thinking kills habit formation. Instead, embrace the mindset. Always something over all or nothing. If you can't do your full routine, do one step. If you're too anxious to journal, write a single word. If you can't go for a walk, step outside and take one deep breath. This keeps your identity intact. I'm still the kind of person who takes care of my peace. Progress isn't linear. Some days will feel heavier than others, but doing something keeps the thread unbroken, and that thread keeps pulling you forward. Social habits, connection as medicine. Anxiety isolates, but connection heals. You don't need to attend crowded events or make deep calls every day. Start with micro social habits. Send one kind message a day. Smile at one person during a walk. Join a small, low-pressure online group. Text a friend thinking of you. Human connection releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone that counteracts the effects of stress hormones like cortisol. When social interactions become habitual, even tiny ones, they become emotional nutrients for your nervous system. And over time, these connections help rebuild your confidence in the world and in yourself. Evening habits. Closing the stress cycle. Your evening routine is just as important as your morning one. It's the bridge between tension and rest. Anxiety often peaks at night. The world goes quiet, and suddenly all the noise inside gets louder. But a consistent, calming nighttime routine sends a signal to your brain. The day is over. You are safe. Now, some powerful evening habits. A brain dump journal. Write everything that's on your mind. Candle or diffuser with calming scent, lavender, chamomile. Closing parenthesis. Reading one page of a calming book. Gentle music or ambient sound. Create a shutdown. Ritual. Same time, same steps, same pace. This tells your subconscious, there is no danger here. You may let go now. Identity-based healing. Becoming a calm person. Habits are on. Just about what you do, they're about who you become. Instead of saying, I want to feel less anxious, try, I am becoming a calm person. Ask yourself, what would a calm person do today? How would a calm person respond to this situation? What habits would support that identity? Each time you follow through, even in a small way, you reinforce that identity. You're no longer an anxious person trying to get better. You're a resilient person building peace daily. That shift in identity gives you strength. Dealing with setbacks, grace over guiltless. Be real anxiety. Recovery isn't perfect. You'll have bad days. You'll forget habits. You'll spiral sometimes. That's okay. The most important habit of all is this: start again without shame. James Clear reminds us, missing once is a mistake. Missing twice is a new habit. So if you break the change, just restart it. Guilt is not productive. It adds weight. Grace lifts it. Speak kindly to yourself. Every day is a fresh ballot cast for your future self. Consistency beats intensity. Self-compassion beats self-judgment. Your anti-anxiety toolkit habit recap. Let's quickly recap a powerful toolkit of small habits that reduce anxiety. 2-minute meditation or breathwork, 5-minute brain dump, journaling, habit stacking, calming. Behaviors like gratitude after brushing teeth, decluttering one small space, a daily check-in. What am I feeling right now? Stretching or moving for just 1 minute. Drinking water upon waking, digital sunset routine. No screens before bed. Connecting with one person, briefly celebrating small wins with visual tracking. None of these take much time, but they create a huge shift in mental space. They're your daily investments in peace, closing the loop. From anxiety to empowerment. Anxiety is not weakness. It's a signal, a sign that your nervous system is overwhelmed and seeking safety. Habits are the structure that safety needs. They don't just help you cope, they help you rebuild. Each small habit anchors you in the now, builds your sense of control, reinforces your self-worth. Breaks the cycle of fear and avoidance. They whisper to your mind, you're okay. You're doing something. You're growing. Final words. The healing is in the doing. James Clear taught us that small things done consistently lead to extraordinary results. This doesn't just apply to fitness, productivity, or success. It applies to healing, so let this be your daily mantra. I will heal through habit. I will grow through consistency. I will become calm through tiny actions. I will move, not because I feel ready, but because I am worthy. Don't wait to feel fearless to act. Let your small habits become the quiet revolution against your anxious mind. Let them become your rhythm, your ritual, your restoration, because even the storm cannot withstand a steady drip of peace. Small habits, big peace. Let's close with the core takeaways, simple truths to carry with you every day. Anxiety thrives in chaos. Habits create order. The more uncertain the world feels, the more important it is to build predictable, calming patterns. Habits are your daily anchors in a sea of unpredictability. Small wins beat big plans. Don't try to fix your entire life in 1 week. Instead, show up for 2 minutes, breathe deeply, move gently, write one thought down. These tiny actions have massive compounding effects over time. Motion breaks mental noise. Action is the antidote to overthinking. Starting a task, however small, reduces the mind's panic. Small habits push you from paralysis into progress. Systems matter more than motivation. Don't rely on feeling ready. Build systems so simple, they're impossible to ignore. Make habits easy, visible, and rewarding. Identity change is the foundation of healing. You are not just managing anxiety, you are becoming someone peaceful, resilient, and grounded. Every habit you repeat is a vote for that identity. Grace is more powerful than guilt. You will forget, skip, or break routines. That's human. Just don't break your identity. Start again. No shame. Healing isn't perfect, it's persistent. Your environment is part of your healing. Make small changes to your space. Light, sound, scent, organization, everything affects your nervous system. Create a calm world to support a calm mind. Your peace is built, not found. You don't find peace, you build it, habit by habit, breath by breath, day by day. It's the result of intentional repetition, not magical breakthroughs. Emotional strength is trained like a muscle. Every time you regulate your thoughts, focus your breath, or journal instead of spiraling, you are training your emotional muscles, and they grow stronger. The most powerful habit, start, even when you feel overwhelmed. Especially then. You don't need to do it all, just do something. Let that one act open the door. Anxiety wants you to believe that things will never change. Habits prove that change is already happening. Each small act of care is a message to your brain. I am safe. I am healing. I am capable of calm. So don't underestimate what seems tiny. That glass of water, that deep breath, that kind word, that early night, that short walk. They all matter. You are not broken. You are rebuilding. You are not lost. You are realigning, and the path to peace is already under your feet.